Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Richard. It's Friday, the 13th of January, 2023. And if you're a Tesla owner, you're probably waking up to some really bad news, to be honest. If you're about to buy a Tesla, it's probably good news. But we've seen some significant price drops on Tesla's website overnight. Not just in the UK, actually, many countries around the world, including the US as well, I'm reading. But in this video here, I'm just going to talk to you about the current UK pricing and the changes we've just seen on the Model 3 and Model Y on Tesla's website for their new prices. Now, we still don't get the S and the X here in the UK. When that will happen, nobody knows, maybe sometime later this year. But the 3 and the Y we get, and there are some significant reductions in terms of pricing. So let's run through what we've got, and then I'll talk to you about some of the reactions of that as a result in the various market conditions. So Model 3, the standard range, or the rear-wheel drive as they call it, was 48,490, and it's been reduced to 42,990, so that's £5,500 less than it was yesterday. That's an 11.3% reduction. 42,990 is about where they were just over a year ago new, then they went up, and now they're kind of back to that kind of price. When the Model 3 Standard was first released in the UK, it was actually just under £40,000, I seem to remember. Then we've got the long range, the dual motor. That was 57,490 yesterday. That's now 59,990, so a £6,500 reduction, 11.3% down as well. And then you've got the Model 3 Performance, 61,490, down £3,500 to 57,990, so less of a drop there, 5.7%. Then we go to the Model Y, so some big numbers here as well. So the Model Y rear-wheel drive, which is new in this country, the first batches have just been delivered. Many people have just taken delivery of those at the end of December into the last quarter of 4. Unfortunately, if you did that, you've now just instantly lost quite a lot of money. So I feel for you, I really do. They've gone from 51,990, £7,000 reduction to 44,990, so that's 13.5%, the biggest out of all of them. Now, if you're about to buy one, 44,990 for a Model Y, that's pretty good, I think. But if you just bought one recently, then unfortunately, we've got some rather bad news this morning. The long range, dual motor long range, has gone from 57,990, that's been reduced by £5,000 down to 52,990. So 8.6% reduction there. And then the Model Y Performance, big drop here, 67,990, down £8,000 to 59,990, so an 11.8% drop there. So some big numbers there, some big changes. Like I say, if you're thinking of buying one and you're about to order one but haven't done yet, then that's probably good news to you. But, as I say, if you've just bought one, then it's terrible. And if you've got a used car that you're trying to sell, it's pretty bad news, especially if you've got a warehouse full of them. So, yeah, probably challenging times, challenging market conditions, as it has been anyway for a couple of months. Some big drops there isn't going to help. So there, I think what we've got in the UK at the moment, a lot of these new models are still with an estimated delivery of 2 to 4 weeks. It wasn't long ago that we had a waiting time of a year for these cars, so that's come right down. Tesla have been making plenty, and I think their last quarter really fell short of their sales target. So I think they're making more, and it's rather difficult, challenging conditions in terms of the general market, and we're in recession, and interest rates are higher, which makes borrowing more expensive, which includes your mortgage, but also your car finance. Plus electricity is more expensive. Still cheaper to run an electric car than it is diesel petrol. We've done videos on that, remember? So some still significant cost savings, and especially if you're buying through a business, still massive savings to be had with electric cars. But yeah, these drops are going to shock a few people. So the used market will also have to react to that. The Model 3s and the Model Ys will see an effect on the used market. Probably not so much for the older ones as they get older. The earlier ones in the UK, which are kind of the most affordable, will be a bit more steady because, you know, they're still the cheapest ones out there, and there's a demand for used Model 3s and Ys as they get to that cheaper end of the used car market. The S's and X's shouldn't be too badly affected because in the UK we just don't get the new ones still, and they still have a good demand. They're still great cars, and in fact we've been really busy with Model X's recently. So I don't think they may well react a bit, but I don't think they're going to see quite such an issue there. But Model 3s and Model Ys, we've already seen the Model 3 especially during November and December really coming down in values on the used car market. Again, a mixture of factors with that really. A lot of people just holding off. Money's a bit tighter than it was. Uncertainty in the market, so just kind of waiting to see what happens. Rumours of such price reductions have been circulating a little bit since Tesla started reducing some prices in China towards the end of last year. And combine that with the Model 3 now being 3 years old, there's lots of them coming into the trade off lease companies and such like, so there's a lot of Model 3s in the trade. A lot of people with Model 3s have been changing to the Model Ys in the recent batches of more there, and then a lot of new cars just being cancelled or people not taking delivery because they want to just wait for a bit longer. So the Model 3 has already seen some price hits and continues now to see price hits in the used market. Where this will quite settle, we don't know. I think what will happen here in the UK now is that the current stock that's available now will probably disappear quite quickly. A lot of people will probably be ordering cars this morning because they're suddenly a lot cheaper. And they're probably not going to be price reduced again, at least for a little while. So that will probably disappear. And then the people ordering new ones now have to wait for new batches to arrive, which could be February, March, April, and how quickly they get allocated. We'll wait to find out how long would lead time get. Well, again, we get our cars here from Shanghai still. We don't get the cars from the Berlin factory, but I think Shanghai is producing many cars. So I think their production numbers are up. And I guess Tesla have been reducing their manufacturing costs, so they've got the scope to make these reductions. But what about other manufacturers? So, Volkswagen, Honda, Kia, will they react with price reductions on their cars? Have they got their production costs low enough to be able to make, 13.5% price reductions? We'll wait and see really what others do. I don't think they'll react, certainly not as strongly as Tesla have here. I do remember, some of the Tesla owners may remember, very nearly 4 years ago, it was 2019, when Tesla did a big price reduction, again on like Model S's performance especially. Huge price reduction overnight, many people lost a lot of money then. That was a challenging time. We just bought this warehouse and then the cars had all dropped in value overnight. So it is turbulent. I guess it'd be nice to see it in a little bit more predictable fashion, maybe more incremental drops. But Tesla, they want to get cars registered Q1, get the wheels in motion coming out of kind of the recession we've been in. So we'll wait and see. I'm not up to speed with quite the price reductions. I'm hearing price reductions in Germany and some quite significant ones in the States. So I'm hearing that the Model Y long range in the States is $13,000 reduced. There's still no long range Model 3 in the States. Does anyone know why? If you do, just put your comments below. I'd be interested to know why there hasn't been a 3 long range for a while. So, difficult times, isn't it? We'll see what happens. Say if you're in the market to buy one, then it's probably good news for you, isn't it? Because they're all a bit cheaper than they were yesterday. What will stock prices do? Well, it'll be interesting to find out. We'll see what happens with that. And what will other manufacturers do? We'll wait and see what happens with that. So that's that from me really for now. Friday the 13th, welcome. Welcome to January 2023 and some turbulent times in the car market. Let's see if this helps drive manufacturing down, if this helps reduce the prices for new electric cars, and if this helps bring more models in price parity with combustion type vehicles as well. And I think we're pretty much there, and especially when you look at running costs, they're far cheaper. But what will this also do for things like leasing costs? Will lease companies and PCP finance agreements be more nervous and increase their leasing? I don't know. I think lease companies had a good time of it in the last year. Cars have been, in the summer of 2022, prices were very high. So we've gone from this very high down to this dip in a really quite sudden motion. So lease companies last summer were laughing because they had 3-year-old cars going into auction or selling into trade for strong money because there's a huge demand, long wait times for new cars. But that's all changed. That's coming down. So will all that change as well? We'll wait and see, wait and find out. And if you've been affected by this, either side of the equation here, let me know your thoughts in the comments below and your reactions. Can you see the kind of future? And if it makes EVs more affordable, that's a good thing. If they're more affordable to more people, that's good. But if you've just taken a price hit like that on your car, you've probably got some comments to make. So feel free to vent in the comments section below. And we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Hey everyone, thanks for watching our videos. If you like our content and want to see more, don't forget to not only subscribe, but also hit the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any new videos as they're uploaded. Plus, we're also on Instagram. Just look up R Simons or RSEV. We're on Facebook, and Twitter. So lots of news, stories and things as we go on each one of those channels.